When I spoke to our colleagues at Ibanez about this, the first thing they asked me was how many videos I'm going to split this up into. We're going to do it in one. Sit up, get yourself a coffee, pay attention, and let's get into it. Ask any guitarist and they'll tell you, among the best quality guitars in the industry, Ibanez are always part of the conversation. Their masterful technique and craft, combined with their incredibly diverse range, makes them one of the staples of the guitar world. They're what I like to call the guitarist's guitar. They're in the hands of some of the best players out there, like Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Paul Gilbert, and pretty much everyone I follow on Instagram who knows their way around a fretboard. But with this huge range of varied guitars, it can be sometimes a little bit confusing to try and figure out what's what, and can be a little bit intimidating for someone who's just looking to delve into the world of Ibanez. So let's break it down today. I'm going to talk about the different price ranges that you can find with Ibanez, from beginners all the way up to custom shops, as well as talking about the different types of guitars, both solid and hollow body, that you will find within those price ranges. However, given the complex nature of this video, I'm not going to talk about the model numbers. I'm going to leave that out for now. However, I will drop some information down in the description that can help you out in terms of decoding them. Otherwise, I'm going to be here for hours. Ibanez originally started in Japan in the early 20th century under the name Hoshino Gakki, and they were a musical instrument subsidiary of a bookstore chain. They started to build their own Spanish-style guitars in the early 1930s, and their name reflects this, as they were produced under the name Ibanez in honor of Spanish luthier Salvador Ibanez. Yeah, that's how the Spanish say it. Fast forward to the late 70s, early 80s, and Hoshino Gakki and subsequently Ibanez became the first Japanese instrument manufacturers to start exporting globally. And subsequently, Ibanez themselves were also the first to start exporting and mass producing 7 and 8 string guitars. They really rose to fame in the late 1980s with the introduction of the GEM and the RG series, which firmly stamped their place within the guitar industry. Models such as the RG 550 as well as the GEM 777 are known as being some of the most popular guitars of the 1980s. A lot of the footprints created within this era can be seen across all of their guitars even today, as well as guitars all over the world. They're a much loved brand among guitar fans today, with an enthusiastic cult following of some of their classic models. So that's a bit of context as to who Ibanez are. Let's dive into the different ranges. I'm going to focus on solid body electrics first, and we'll cover the jazzier Artcore models a bit later on. As is the same with pretty much every brand we've covered in these videos so far, Ibanez split their guitars up in terms of quality and price, going from beginner to custom shop. Firstly, you have the GIO series, which is Ibanez's entry-level beginner range. They're Chinese built and they're around 150 to 200 pounds. They're perfect if you're just picking up a guitar learning, as they've got lots of versatility within the range, or if you're just looking to delve into the world of heavier music and you're on a limited budget. Next up, you have the standard range, which essentially are just their normal guitars. They're more affordable than the higher price ranges, but they have upgraded features and materials on the GIOs. The premium range is really where we start to see some of that incredible craftsmanship, whilst at the same time still offering great value for money. They're all Indonesian built, but rival their Japanese counterparts in terms of quality. The Prestige range are some of the top of the range guitars without delving into custom shop territory. They're all Japanese built, with the craftsmanship, attention to detail and materials used being of the absolute highest quality. These guitars are some of the best built guitars in the industry without being of a custom shop label or price tag. Finally, you have the J Custom or Japanese Custom, which are extremely rare limited edition built models. They're all built by single luthiers, and generally they're going to be the best quality of guitar that Ibanez offer commercially. They also have an LA custom shop, but generally they produce guitars exclusively for artists that are not normally commercially available. Now that's generally the range, but the only exceptions to this are some of their special series collections, things like the Genesis reissues, the Axion labels and the Iron labels. The Genesis collection features classic reissues of some of their famous RG guitars of the 80s, ones such like the RG 550 that we talked about earlier. The Iron label is a collection of guitars more suited to heavier metal, with appointments like extended scale length to suit down tuning as well as extra strings, and the Axion label are kind of more modern, progressive metal focused guitars with appointments and features that really push the boundaries of classic metal guitars. So those are the different ranges that you will find, but within those ranges you'll see a number of different types of guitar with different body shapes and different electrics, etc. One thing to note though before we get into those different guitar types is that not every single type of guitar is available at every level. Some of them are exclusively beginner guitars for GIOs and standards, whereas some only kind of start to come in from premium upwards, etc. So with that said, let's look at the current options. So I think the best place to start here is with the RG guitars. Now these are the most popular by far that Ibanez have made. They were originally born from the Roadstar guitars of the late 70s and the early 80s before being made popular in 1987 with the RG 550 as well as its subsequent counterparts. They're built for speed and precision, and generally speaking they're suited to classic heavy metal and rock. However, they do play a wide variety of different genres. There's a few variations to this guitar, such as the RGA, which has a slightly more sculpted body, and the RGD, which has a slightly extended scale length, which is suited to down tuning. Next, you have the AZ range. They're the most versatile guitars that Ibanez make, and they are named AZ because they literally play everything from A to Z. They're incredibly versatile and have classic looks mixed in with up-to-date modern features and appointments that make them an incredibly reliable tool for your arsenal. You'll find fusion guitarists playing these, as well as guitarists who have a very wide variety of tones, all the way from crispy cleans to full-blown leads. Players like Martin Miller and Tom Quayle, who are known for their fusion style, are notable users of the AZ guitars. Currently, they're exclusive to the premium range, with the AZ S series being a single cut alternative, which is available from the Prestige range upwards. Next up, you have the S series, which are among the slimmest guitars that Ibanez make. The S stands for saber, i.e. something that is really thin. They were made popular by players such as Joe Satriani and Nita Strauss, and they are great for shredders because of their light weight. They have a bit more of a classic guitar shape to something like the RG, so they lend themselves better for someone who's looking for something that's a bit more conventional. There are a few other options that are generally only available in the entry ranges, things such as the AX, the AR, the Micro 7/8 guitar, and the ART. These are all beginner guitars designed to be a bit more conventionally rock styled, so if you're looking for something standard just to pick up as a beginner, then absolutely give these a whirl. Okay, let's talk about the hollow bodies now. Fundamentally, they have the same sort of levels that the solid bodies have when it comes to price and quality, although they're known by different names. Firstly, you have the Artcore, which are the baseline models of guitars. They're made in China and have a bit more of a factory line approach while still providing affordability with great options and tone. The Artcore Expressionist comes next in terms of quality. They're Indonesian built guitars that provide a bit of an upgrade to the standard Artcore range. The top of the range for hollow bodies are known as Artstar. They're all Japanese built and are about the highest quality you can get when it comes to their hollow bodies and jazz guitars. Within these groupings, you have the following options. You have the AS guitars, which are technically semi-hollow as they've got a center block running through the middle, which increases the focus and attack. You have the AF range, which is a full hollow body with a cutaway and a nice deep body. You also have the AG, which is very much like the AF, but it's slightly slimmer and has a different styled cutaway. It's not currently available in the Artstar range, but this is a great option at an affordable price if you're looking for something not quite as cumbersome as an AF. You have the AM, which is a slim, full hollow body. It's going to provide you great rockabilly tones as well as jazz. And lastly, you've got the AGS, which is the slimmest hollow body they make. It has a single cutaway and lends itself perfectly to rock and blues. The artist signature range is massive. Ibanez work with so many different players and create models of unique qualities with each artist. Within this range, you're going to find guitars that are built with the same fundamentals of the guitars we've already discussed, but with some unique features and appointments, things like finishes and different pickup options, etc, etc. There are a few guitars that are completely unique to the artist signature range, things like Steve Vai's Gems, as well as Paul Gilbert's guitars, but generally speaking, they're going to be built on some of the fundamental shapes that we've already talked about. There's solid bodies and hollow bodies featuring artists such as Joe Satriani, Martin Miller, George Benson, Larry Basilio, Pat Metheny, and the list goes on. They also vary in terms of price and build quality. Most of them are around the premium or prestige range, some of them are a bit more affordable like Steve Vai's Gem Junior range, and then some of them are of the highest quality that you can get from Ibanez, things like Steve Vai's Pia. I'm not going to go through them all, but if you are looking for an Ibanez at the moment, definitely worth having a little nose about in the artist signature range to see if you can't find something that catches your eye, whether you like the artist or not. I did want to cover the model numbers and what they mean in this video, but it's just going to be too long a video if I do. I'm tired as it is. What I will do though is I'll leave a link in the description to the Unofficial Ibanez Wiki page, which is run by hardcore Ibanez enthusiasts, and they have a page entirely dedicated to decoding all the model numbers and what they mean. Told you they had a cult following. So there you have it. That's the entire Ibanez electric guitar range broken down for you. They really are amazing guitars. It's not something you might notice just looking at them on the internet, but as someone who has worked in the guitar shop, as well as over the phones dealing with customers, as well as being in here now and opening guitars on a regular basis, I can honestly say that I don't think I've ever opened and looked at an Ibanez guitar and been disappointed with the quality. They are ruthlessly consistent, which is certainly something I cannot say about some of their competitors. I think there's an Ibanez for everyone. Whether you're looking for something more conventional or looking for something slightly more niche, there's a guitar out there at a price range to suit you. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, or at the very least learned something. If you're looking for an Ibanez and have some questions, or if you own an Ibanez and have some advice for someone looking for one, then show yourself in the comments. Let's start a discussion and let's help each other out. If there's a brand you'd like us to break down next, then let us know. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave us a like, subscribe to see more things like this, and we will see you very soon.